would you say to people that would suggest that crypto is a form of gambling, because you're essentially investing in a coin or something that has high volatility that could go up or down? So people, as much as they've gained, they've lost a lot as well.
Well, by that definition, business is gambling too. And so is the stock market, and so are relationships. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. But in general, it works out. In general, entrepreneurs, if you're gonna do something, I think entrepreneurship is the best thing you can do. But it's the only thing that maybe cancels that out now is that crypto is so amazingly good that like getting crypto right is more important for your financial freedom than anything else you could ever do in your entire life. And I say this as a retired self-made millionaire long before Bitcoin was invented. Bitcoin was invented in 2009. I was retired in 2003. So like, and I used to mine Bitcoin, full 50 Bitcoin block rewards would come into my computer because I had a strong video card because I like video games back in the first quarter of 2011. And then, you know, I helped make the $30 top, bought the top, went right down to 2. It's like, you know, that's what happens. When do you hear about it? When the price is going up. So when do you buy it? After you heard about it, after the price went up, and then sometimes you buy the top. And we've had a lot of tops, you know, like I called the Bitcoin top on the day, this cycle. On the day of the $65,000 top, I called it, it went down 55%. Then it went up and made the limpest, weakest, tiniest higher high for 7 days. And then straight back down another 25%. So my top call has been, if you had traded it, which I don't suggest that you do, but if you'd open a short on that top call, you would have been in profit for like 7-8 months and only out of profit by 6% for 7 days. And I do this for free. When I first saw Bitcoin, I thought it was a scam. It's like fake money. I used to just make fake money. Okay, have fun with that.
Yeah.
But then I saw the Wired News article that said they was using it on the darknet, and I was like, oh, there's a use case, and it's working, it's new, let's get in, you know? So then after you're in it for a while, you're like, wait a second, these transactions are so slow. In a Bitcoin transaction, I've waited hours sometimes to get one confirmation, which is the minimum. You're supposed to wait for 6. So just to get one confirmation, it took 3 hours. I'm like, this is absolutely terrible. There's no excuse for this. And then it'll cost $20, $30 to do a transfer. Garbage, you know? So if you want the slowest, most expensive, cost more than your bank transfer, you're like, we can do better than this. And it destroys the environment. And I know it does because I was a miner and I know my electricity bill and I know where my electricity came from and it wasn't renewable. So like there's so many, and I've got projects to solve these things. It's still better than gold. It's still better than the stock market. Gold's garbage.
It's garbage.
Well, look,
you wouldn't.
I mean, it's okay to wear it, looks cool, you know, but for actual investment purposes, you've only made a 2x return in 40 years, depending on how you measure it, like where you bought. And you know, you're down 10% from 10 years ago.
But what about the functionality? Because you yourself just said Bitcoin is struggling in terms of functionality.
Well, but no one cares about that as much as they care about the price. So it did go from a penny to $69,000, which is a 690 million% return in 10 years, which is a 69,000x. No, more. It's a 6.9 million x. That's a lot of x. So it is one of the best performing assets in the history of mankind. So even if you have to wait 3 hours for transfer, you're still getting rich. So we can do better now. We are doing better now. But you know, even if you have the old dog, still a dog, you can pet it. You know, I get on Ethereum 13-second confirmations, and on Bitcoin I get 10-minute confirmations. Well, I prefer the 13-second. And then on my copy of Ethereum, it's 3 seconds.
Which is Hex.
Well, no, I got more than one coin. So Hex was my first project. It's 2 years old now. It's gone up 1,000,000% before staking. If you'd staked it, which is what you're supposed to do, you know, it's gone up for you maybe 1.5 million%, 1.6 million%. Depends on how long you stake. You get paid more if you stake longer. And it's also had 100% perfect, flawless operation. Bitcoin.org has been hacked, and scams have been put on that website. Hex.com has never been hacked.
But then I think, what about people who would say that Hex is still very new? So
just keep waiting until you miss all the opportunity. And then once all the opportunity's gone, you can say, yeah, that would have been a good opportunity had I participated. So I'll just explain cryptocurrency to you super easy. And I mean, this is the world champion, easiest explanation you'll ever hear. All cryptocurrencies are is an Excel spreadsheet on the internet that you put your money on, you need your password to spend, and they inflate 2% a year to keep the sheet honest. That's it. That's all cryptocurrency is. And then the difference between Hex and Bitcoin is that Bitcoin pays miners inflation to destroy the environment and secure the network. And instead, in Hex, we only pay inflation to stakers to hold the price up. So people that lock up their coins, and when they do that, they're destroyed. They can't be sold. They remove sell pressure, they remove supply. So supply and demand, if you've got static or increasing demand and the supply keeps going down, the price keeps going up. And so these people are delaying gratification at a rate of 5, the average stake length is 5.8 years. There's no financial instrument in the history of finance where people have delayed gratification for so long. If you buy a house, you can sell it. If you buy a bond, you can sell it. But if you stake your Hex for 15 years, you are not getting your principal out until 7.5 have passed. You can get out, lose all your interest, just pull your principal when you've served half your term. And if you try and pull before that, you're penalized. And everyone else that did what they said they were going to do and were honest, they get those rewards. There's no central counterparty. There's no company. There's no building. There's no mastermind behind the scenes.
Who's penalizing me then?
You're penalizing yourself. So when you have a blank piece of paper and you draw a horse on it, you now have a horse drawing. You minted it out of thin air. When you have a recording device and you sing into it, you now have a nice song, you create it out of thin air. All of the Hex gets created by you. You mint it yourself like a Bitcoin miner. But instead of having to pay for a Bitcoin mining machine and the electricity and the facilities, you just run the code once. You pay the Ethereum miners, $10 to, used to be a penny, now it's $10, to open a stake if you want. And so you're the only person in the world that can open that stake because you're the only person in the world that has your private keys. You generated them. And so your private keys creates your public address. Your private keys gives the ability to run the code. And that code says that if I lock up my coins, destroy them, and commit to do that for this amount of length, then I can mint for myself this much more when it's over. And so, you mint your own rewards. If you look at the price chart of Bitcoin and Ethereum from their launch day, we're doing nearly the same thing they are, but at a higher inclination. So for you viewers at home, the chart would be up and to the right. Bitcoin would be here, Ethereum would be here, and then Hex would be here. And so we're just making the same gains that they did, but faster. And it might be the staking mechanism. It might be because we have a better domain name. It might be because we have a better logo. It might be because we have a better founder. It might be because we have a better community. We have all those things. It might be because we're more secure. We have all these properties. And then those all multiply by each other. And this is maximum gatekeeping. Like, a lot of people said very bad things about us for a very long time, and they were all wrong. We did exactly what we said we were going to do. Let me tell you, Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin.org has scams on it occasionally. The founder disappeared. What's he doing, right? When Bitcoin.org gets hacked, I have to have an emergency live stream to warn people about the scam. Does Satoshi come back and warn anybody? No, he's a punk. I'm out here defending Bitcoiners. He's not, right? I'm out, and then if you look, Bitcoin itself has been hacked more than once. So back in 2010, someone minted a few billion extra Bitcoin. There's only supposed to be 21 million ever. Oops, well, let's fork the network. Then the same inflation bug, they call it, but it really means you can mint as many free coins as you want, happened 2 years ago. And it was responsibly disclosed instead of used. But that guy, if you had code to let you mint as many free Bitcoin as you wanted, and this keeps happening to Bitcoin because it's spaghetti code. It's not good code. There's no modularity, there's no isolation. In Hex, we don't have that vulnerability because our consensus code is locked. It can never be changed. It's immutable. You don't accidentally screw it up when you try and make the network work better. And that last bug that let anyone mint as many free Bitcoin as they wanted was introduced by someone trying to make the network go a little bit faster. And oops, we accidentally affected consensus.